What's up, Happy Penguins? Video 2014, number 3 on ecological changes and human impact. As part of a new suburban development, a sports complex consisting of athletic fields and buildings is constructed in a formerly wooded area. Part A asks us to predict one ecological consequence on the local plant community that is likely to result during the site preparation and construction of the sports complex. Justify your prediction. So what we see is that there's this wooded area. So we're going to have all these construction vehicles that are going to come in and they're going to cut down all these plants, these trees, and these shrubs. Okay. That number one is going to cause us to have a loss of our biodiversity. We have less organisms in that area. We have less of the different types of organisms in that area. And that also is going to decrease our genetic diversity because of the fact that we could see a bottleneck where there's this rapid decrease of our population size. So there's a lot of different answers that we have that were accepted, most of which are looking at plant death and how that removing them from the area or the construction vehicles adding pollution. So the different options: plant death, reduced number of plant species, loss of biodiversity, decreased genetic diversity, habitat loss, increased success of sun-tolerant plants because we're removing those shading trees, introduction or immigration of some new plant species that could lead to new competition. And so there's a lot of options here. You can pause it and read through those if you want. The part A says, students said, because of the construction of the sports complex, the plants that may reside there would either cut off or be built on top of. If the plants were cut off and removed from the area, less of those plants would grow, making the population decrease significantly. The same thing would happen if the building was built on top of the plants, because the plants would eventually die due to absence of light and carbon dioxide. As a result, we would also lose some O2 production due to less plants being grown in that area. Part B is to maintain the playing fields. Large quantities of water and chemicals were applied regularly to the grass-covered area. Predict one effect on the local animal community that might result from regular use and maintenance of the playing fields. Justify your prediction. And so what we see is we're adding all these chemicals to the water. And that is being put over the grass where these organisms are living. And so the animals that are trying to consume that grass are now getting high amounts of toxins, which could cause them to die. We also see that they may immigrate out of the area because there's now all these people around that might cause them to no longer want to be in that area. We might see that there could not be any more drinking water for them because of those chemicals being contaminated in there. There could be mutations due to those chemicals, which will then change their DNA. So there's a lot of different options here as well that you could have written. That's what I love about ecology, is that there's just lots of answers sometimes. So students said, due to the application of chemicals on grass areas, animals that feed off the grass, including omnivores and herbivores, may start to die because of the chemicals altering the grass. The chemicals in the grass could kill the animals, and the population of local herbivores would decrease significantly. Omnivores would start feeding off of animals more. Hope that was helpful. Remember, 8 penguins, success, bye all.